Hello mates, I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to be doing another reaction video, this time to some tattoo regret videos here on YouTube. So having regrets about your tattoos, I think is just part of the process of getting a whole bunch of tattoos for people. We're all young and stupid once. I know I certainly regret some of my earlier tattoos, and it's just kind of part of it, but I don't think it's something that's really been spoken about until the last kind of few years. It seems to me that TikTok has given people, I don't know, like a platform to share their tattoo regrets, I guess in the hope of like educating other people so maybe they won't make the same mistakes that they did. I've picked 3 videos to react to. I'll put the links to the original videos and the original creators in the description. Alright, so without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so our first video is from Nye Autumn and it is called Why I Regret Getting Heavily Tattooed. Alright, let's have a watch.
You truly have no idea how your views are going to change in the next 5 years and how your identity might change and how you see the world.
So I think what she's just said is something that a lot of people don't think about. It's something that you almost don't want to think about when you get tattoos. Like the thought of me in 5 years' time looking at my tattoos and going, nah, this isn't me anymore, scares the living shit out of me. But I think it is something that is really important that is talked about, so well done, Nye, for talking about it.
For the biggest part of my life, tattoos were my identity. From the age of 14, I always wanted to be a tattoo artist, and as a result, it became my identity. You know, I was drawing all the time, and I would spend so much money on tattoos and researching all the different artists and all the different styles, and it was my passion. I was constantly watching tattoo content on YouTube.
Hey, Treacle Tats and Pony Lawson, Quickened as well, one of the originals, and Electric Linda. I've never heard of Electric Linda. I'll have to check them out. Love getting recommendations for new tattoo YouTubers. Do you know the best new and up-and-coming tattoo YouTuber that you should follow though? Is this guy called Ali Black. He's this handsome fellow, got some really cool hair with some really cool tattoos. Would defo recommend that you go and give him a subscribe.
It was like what my life was based around. I was building up a portfolio to become a tattoo artist, and my life revolved around tattoos for so long, and now this is so hard to say, and it's so hard to admit, but I regret them.
Oh, that hit me in the feels there. Nice, poor thing, mate. Oh, that has actually moved me. To hear that it's something that she was so passionate about, she really wanted to become a tattoo artist, and now she doesn't even want tattoos anymore. Oh, jeez.
I'm going to be explaining why and what my advice would be to anyone who's thinking of getting heavily tattooed, like I once was, and I got there. I was so obsessed with tattoo culture. It was like a passion of mine, you know, drawing and building up a portfolio for becoming a tattoo artist, and eventually I did become a tattoo apprentice. Didn't last very long, but I wanted to like show my passion for art and tattoos through my skin and make it a part of my identity, and it was the biggest part of my identity up until about 2 years ago.
What happened? The
biggest realization moment was in around May this year. I remember one night I was just sat outside and just started crying, and I just realized how badly I regret my tattoos, and it had been building up for a while, but I just started to realize how badly I actually regretted them and how they're no longer part of my identity, and yet it's so irreversible. Like, it's easy for people to say, oh, you can just get laser, and that's kind of the mentality I had, you know, when I was getting them all. I was like, oh, well, I can always get them lasered off if I end up regretting them one day, but I'll never regret them because they're part of my identity. But here I am, literally 2 years later, and I regret them, and laser isn't as easy as it sounds. You know, it's extremely painful. I had the tiniest bit lasered off that tattoo on my wrist, and it was excruciating pain. I had to tap out after a few little zaps. They didn't even get far.
So she's making a really good point. I think even I'm someone who thinks, well, if I don't like my tattoos, I could always just, you know, get rid of them or black them out or whatever. But when it comes down to it, it's not that simple, is it? Like, as Nye says, it's really expensive, really painful. So it's best to just kind of try and avoid getting to that place in the first place. So This is why you should really, really really think about the future when you're getting tattoos. And this is why I'm an advocate that you should wait to get tattoos, really think about it, ponder on it, etc. because nobody wants to end up feeling like this. I wasn't expecting this video to be like this depressing. I don't know why. Stay positive. Stay positive, folks. Oof. Right, onwards.
I regret my tattoos because it's the thing that people see about me first. It's never me or me as a person. You know, I think personally, I don't think I'm a 10, but I do think I'm quite, you know, I'm not bad looking, but I do feel like my tattoos, because they're so obvious and they're the first thing that people notice about me. They're just very there, they're very loud, and I'm a really quiet person actually, so.
Another really great point is that when you start to get heavily tattooed, obviously it's the first thing that people are going to notice about you, and you just become the person with the tattoos to them, which is fine if you're okay with that, but I totally get where Nai's coming from. I'm quite a quiet, introverted person as well, and you have to be aware that if you're going to start getting heavily tattooed, loud, extroverted people are going to come up to you and want to ask you about them, talk to you about them, and it can be a bit like, oh, leave me alone. Do you know what I mean? It is just something you have to really consider, something to think about.
Another thing is like the assumptions people make about you being tattooed. People will think things like, I don't know, I've had a lot of comments, a lot of backhanded compliments. For example, I was dating this guy back a couple of years ago, and he started asking me, well, it was actually a first date, he was asking me like, am I bisexual, or thinking I was up for like all this promiscuous stuff, which I'm not promiscuous at all, and I'm very straight, but that's the sort of assumptions I've got from people.
I don't understand the correlation between those two things. Excuse me if I'm being ignorant, I guess, but I don't understand why heavily tattoos means that you are bisexual or promiscuous. Because you like having pretty images on your body, that doesn't mean anything about you, I don't think. And you shouldn't stereotype people who have got tattoos. If you're watching this video, you probably already know this shit though, and I'm preaching to the converted, but yeah, don't be a dick.
I was at this perfume shop, and the woman on the desk, she was saying, oh, I really like your tattoos. I wouldn't want them on myself though. I prefer my boyfriend to have them, or something like that, basically implying it's a manly thing to do, which, yeah, I do think you can be feminine and have tattoos, because obviously I don't think femininity is about what clothes you wear or the way you look, but it's more your energy.
Again, why does putting pretty pictures on your skin make you one thing or another? Like, why do people assume that it's not a feminine thing, like it's a masculine thing to just put pretty pictures on your body? Like, when you say it like that, it makes literally no sense, does it? Absolute wankers, mate.
I live in a small village, and no one else around here looks like me, really, and you know, you get all sorts of different looks, from dirty looks to people like just looking curiously, and then you get a lot of questions and compliments, which are nice. It's nice to get compliments, but it also sort of reminds me, when I get compliments, that the first thing everyone notices about me, and I don't know, it just draws a lot of attention. Then you get people, you know, making backhanded compliments like I mentioned before.
One thing that I'm really glad about is I live in a part of the country, part of the world where tattoos are really acceptable. I live in Brighton in the UK. There's lots of people around here are very heavily tattooed. I am never going to be the most heavily tattooed person that you see in a day. So therefore, people don't really look twice at me. But for Nai, living in a small village, I'm sure, you know, the stereotype is that lots of old people live in small villages. I'm sure that she does get quite a few looks, quite a few comments. So if you do live somewhere like that, where there's lots of kind of small-minded people, again, something you need to be aware of, something you need to think about before you go and get a whole bunch of tattoos, and think about, am I going to be okay with this, and really think about that. Do you know what I mean?
A lot of Karen stares, which when I first got them, I was quite rebellious, to be honest. I didn't really care. I kind of found it funny when people would stare at me like that, but now I kind of just want to be, you know, just chill, and I just want a chilled life. And I know it's a big move getting my face tattooed, and if I do get any removed, it will be my face tattoos, because my face tattoos were the least painful, and also they're the ones that are the most obvious, so I'm hoping they'll be the least painful to remove. And it's crazy to think that this time 2 years ago I was planning on what tattoos I'm gonna get next and writing lists of what tattoos I'm gonna get next, but now I'm writing out a list of which ones I'm gonna get removed first, and that's so crazy to me.
Well, thank you for that, Nye. That was 4 months ago. Hope that you can kind of start to love your tattoos again, start to make peace with them. Oof, that's some heavy stuff. So as Nye was saying, again, really important that you don't get too heavily tattooed too quickly, that you really think about what you want to get, you really think about the implications of getting whatever you're going to get. Because I mean, the worst thing in the world would to be in a nice position where you really love tattoos, you want to become a tattoo artist, and then over time that slips away and you don't even like tattoos anymore, you don't like your tattoos anymore, you don't want to be a tattoo artist anymore. Just heavy shit. Well, hopefully the next video for a tattoo regret video isn't quite as dark as that. Next video is from a YouTuber called Jackie is Alive. I hope you're alive and well, Jackie. And this video is called I Don't Believe in Regret, but I Deeply Regret Getting Tattoos. All right, let's have a watch.
I don't believe in regret. I didn't always feel that way, and I have sat in regret many times in the past. At this stage of my life, seeing the mistakes that I've made, seeing the growth that has come from them, seeing how I wouldn't have changed or evolved without those mistakes, understanding that they were part of a bigger picture for me, really makes it easy for me to not have regret currently. As much as I don't believe in regret, I do have one giant regret in my life.
So that does feel like a bit of a contradiction, that you don't believe in regrets, but you do have one massive regret. I don't know, maybe it'll start to make more sense throughout the video, but yeah, that has confuzzled my brain.
I don't believe in regret. I do have one giant regret in my life, and that is getting all of these tattoos on my arm.
What have you got?
Just saying that out loud, I've been holding that in for so long.
Oh,
so just
mate.
saying that out loud feels so good to let that go.
Jackie, it's a horrible feeling when you realise you regret your tattoos and then you say that out loud, like, I regret my chest tattoo. Instantly that makes me feel horrible. Instantly my body is like filled with anxiety saying that out loud. And that's one tattoo that I regret. I also regret I've got like a rose on my ankle. I don't know if I can do enough gymnastics to show it, but I regret this rose here on my ankle. Again, makes me feel bloody horrible saying that. So for Jackie to be able to say, I regret all of my tattoos, is just, I can't imagine how awful she must feel just saying that out loud. But it is a really brave thing to do, so props to you, Jackie.
Whew.
Oh,
Earlier in the week, I was
Don't
taking a
make me
yoga
cry.
class, and the teacher, her name is Bianca. She's amazing. I'm gonna link her Instagram page in the description of this video. She has helped me to move through so many things. Thank you so much, Bianca, and thank you for this perspective shift. While we were moving through our flow, she said, change isn't about becoming new things. It's about letting go of the things that you aren't.
Solid.
Letting go of the things we thought we needed to become. Letting go of the things that aren't really resonant with us. Over the last 3 years, I've undergone so much change as a person, and I'm so proud of the person that I have become today. And the person that I am today wouldn't have a sleeve of tattoos if the person that I used to be didn't get a sleeve of tattoos. And she definitely wouldn't have gotten these. When I got these tattoos, I didn't know who I was. I was very uncomfortable in my body. I wanted to cover up my body. I was afraid, I was anxious, I was insecure. I was not in a right state of mind to be able to commit to getting a full sleeve of tattoos. Over the last 2 years or so, I've had to move through a lot of feelings of resentment and anger and regret that I had, I was so angry and so upset at the person that I used to be for disrespecting my body in this way. I'm angry that I disrespected my body in this way. I find it to be disrespectful. I don't like it.
That must be such a horrible feeling. To even use the word disrespect, she feels like her past self disrespected her body by getting a full sleeve of tattoos. That's a heavy statement. She's making a great point though, that when you're getting tattoos, you can feel like, yes, this is me. I know for me, whenever I get more tattoos, I feel more like me. I feel more completed. I don't know. But you do have to keep it in your brain that maybe you won't always feel like that. Maybe that will change one day. Which is not a nice thing to think about, but it is true, Jackie.
If I had the option to do it again, I wouldn't have this on my body. I used to spend the summer up at my grandparents' lake house, and I remember the first summer that I had them, I had been covering them up around my family. I would wear long sleeve shirts, but now we're on a lake, you're in a bathing suit, and I'll never forget my uncle. He told me that I was gonna regret it one day, and I remember thinking
Classic.
like, what the hell does he know? He doesn't know anything. But 17 years later, he's right. I do regret getting these tattoos. I do regret having this on my body and in undergoing so much change, and to have those feelings, those resentments coming up for yourself. It was very heavy and very hard to deal with. All summer, last summer, I wore only long sleeves. I would not wear a short sleeve. I would not wear a tank top. I wore long sleeves the entire summer because I was so ashamed. It's unfortunate that the person that I am today has to live with the very long-term repercussions of the decisions that I made when I was 18 years old. I'm a firm believer that there is an exception to every rule. So while I don't believe in regret, my exception to that rule is living in the regret of what I did to my body before I knew who I was, or before I was comfortable in my body. I'm very comfortable in my body now. I love my body so much. I'm so proud of my body. I am proud to possess my body. I'm proud to inhabit my body. My body is my temple. I was that asshole who went into a sacred temple and carved their fucking initials on it. Yeah, I know you've been at every sacred site around the world and there's some asshole who defiled it. I'm the asshole who defiled my own temple, and I have to live with that every single day for the rest of my life. I have to look down and remember where I was, what I was and wasn't doing. Same time, I know that I am going to move through this. For me to even be able to say this out loud, I have come so far in my journey with healing my relationship about this, so I know that there will be a day where I'm okay with it. But for right now, it's not today. I just hope that in sharing this, it can at least prevent one person from getting a tattoo that they will go on to regret.
Oof. I just need to sit and think about that for a minute. I was the asshole who defiled the sacred temple that is my body. Whilst I don't think I'd ever express it that way, for her to say it like that, she has some big feelings, you know? That must feel pretty crap for her. And for her to say that she doesn't regret anything, but she does regret the tattoos that she's got, you know, she means business there. Well, Jackie, I hope you can make peace with the decisions that you made in the past that have affected how you look now, how you feel about yourself now. And you were saying that you're so proud of your body. I'm so glad you feel that way. I hope that extends to feeling proud of your tattoos as well one day. Or you at least can make peace with it. Again, I don't know why I didn't pick up that this would probably be quite a heavy video to film. Like, I may not seem like it, but I'm somebody who feels empathy really deeply, and when I hear stories about how people regret things, how people feel not good about themselves, it really kind of resonates with me, sticks with me, and I feel like I kind of take it on in myself. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, I've always been that way. Anyway, that is it. Those are my reactions to some of YouTube's tattoo regrets. If you did enjoy this video, give it a like and hit the subscribe button and all of that other YouTube bollocks. If you like the music that you're hearing in the background, it was actually all produced by me. I have another channel where I post beats / instrumentals that I've written for singers to use to write songs to. So if that is something you are interested in, I'll put a link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry if this was a really depressing video. It certainly was for me filming it. I will see you in the next one. Cheers. Thank you.